This is The Art of Startup War, and I am your sensei, Brian MacMahon. Now, in Season 1 and 2, I got inside the minds of startup investors. In Season 3, I brought in entrepreneurs to share their startup journey. Here, in Season 4, we combine both so you can hear investors critique the investment value proposition of individual companies. You're going to hear how investors make decisions to invest in startups, what makes a great entrepreneur, and how billion-dollar companies are built. So tune in every Tuesday, 10 a.m. on all the major platforms. You can empower your tribe by sharing the podcast, and remember to subscribe, rate, review, and leave us a comment. Good morning, it's Brian. It is 10 o'clock, it's Tuesday morning. You are back on The Art of Startup War. Thank you for joining us. I have another phenomenal entrepreneur here. And not only do I have a phenomenal entrepreneur, I have an entrepreneur who we were so pleased that we had the opportunity to be able to invest in her because she is amazing. Her product is phenomenal. And although you'll always hear me gush about companies that we really like on the program, there are some that I have that just seem like no-brainers. And this one to me is a no-brainer. And there's a couple of reasons. Like, number one, it's dogs, and everybody loves dogs. If you don't love dogs, then get off this podcast right now because dogs are better than humans in most cases. Anja, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I was just about to go on a bit of a rant about how amazing dogs are, and I knew you wouldn't mind.
No, not at all.
Because you love dogs.
Yeah, I share that. Yes.
So I can talk about the fact that we invested in you. I couldn't get the money to you fast enough. I believe that this first product that you're bringing to market is going to be just a killer product for dogs, and then all of your other products afterwards are going to be exactly the same. But before I do that, can you tell us a little bit about Happy Again Pet, and tell us about the nutrients, the collagen, the products, the plan, and where it's all going?
For sure, yes. So at Happy Again Pet, the goal is to extend the life of your pet with nutrients and supplements that are really the best on the market, the best quality, and backed by science that actually work. My background is in biotech engineering, biotech science, and I worked in cartilage tissue engineering when my dog was sick. So it's a very personal story why I started the brand. My dog couldn't skateboard. He was an English bulldog that loved skateboarding. They're passionate about that. And he had arthritis in his shoulder, and there was nothing I could help him with. So I went back to my research and formulated Happy Again just to help him. And it was such a big impact. After a week, he was better than ever, skating better, running the stairs better, that I handed it out to other people and tested it on humans. It's a human-grade supplement, so there's no risk.
By the way, hang on a second. I love that. I that's my favorite. My favorite bit is the fact that you're one of the only products, if not the only product I know, which is tested on humans first before being given to dogs. It's just the best, right? I just imagine you going through trials, and like your first stage trials are all these little humans, and you're like passing stuff out to them and saying, let's see if it works. And if it works really well and we get to like third phase, then we're going to give it to dogs.
Well, it should be that way. So yeah, I mean, the humans reported and spoke to me and said that it does work. Also, the flavor is really targeting dogs, the natural flavor in it. Mm-hmm. So that was the only problem for the humans, that it doesn't taste very well. But it had the same effect. So once it was safe to give it to dogs, we did, and we had amazing results. One of them being Cesar Millan's dog, the dog whisperer, Junior, who at the time I met him couldn't really walk, and he was on heavy pain relief. And he said, I tried everything, and I know you trying to get me to endorse a product, but I have tried all of it and it didn't work. So I convinced him to try Happy Again, and 2 weeks later he actually said, my God, my dog is running and the pain relief is off, so I don't have to give it to him.
Wow.
Which was great, and that made him our partner in the brand, because he was convinced.
Yeah, and everybody who knows the dog whisperer, whether you've seen him on TV or whether you've interacted with him, he's a no BS type of guy. So either something works and is phenomenal or it doesn't. And, I remember when you first talked about that story to me, and you talked about his dog running around the fields for the first time in months, if not years. So it was so visible to him what you were doing in joints. And actually, it's not even just for older dogs, right? I mean, younger dogs should take this so that they build their cartilage nice and strong for the future.
Right. That is one of the main ingredients is a hydrolyzed collagen, which is a very different way to hydrolyze it enzymatically, which makes the molecules better bioavailable and all intact to really work for you. But what actually happens in the body of a dog and also in our bodies is that we at one point in our life don't produce enough collagen anymore to recreate and keep the matrix of our cartilage up. So in dogs, it starts around the age 2 that the cartilage is degrading faster than actually building. So that's when the supplementation of Happy again is really important. We also recommend it in larger breeds in puppy age because they just grow very fast, and if they don't have the right nutrition to really build out their joints, it will come later in the later life, very early on, that they will have problems with their joints, which everyone wants to avoid.
Yeah, wow.
So yes, it's for all dogs, all ages, and it has, as it is a collagen and hyaluronic acid involved, it's also really good for their skin and coat. So there's not only the joint benefit, it's also that they don't have itches, they don't get hot spots, they have really shiny coat, and it also enhances their digestion as collagen is lining the stomach as well.
So you're kind of creating this mix for a dog between Arnold Schwarzenegger and, the next top model, right?
Yes, for sure.
And then, okay, so you built it. Now, look, there was a couple of other reasons why, for me, it was a no-brainer investing Experts Dojo money into you. I loved the product. I loved the fact that, we're not going to stop loving dogs tomorrow, next year, or the next century. It's impossible, right? But that's all very well and good when you have this great desire to help dogs and you have great nutrients you can do, but the supply chain is incredibly hard to build. Now, the fact that you're a biochemist and the fact that you're so damn good at building supply chain kind of also blew me away. Can you talk a little bit about how relevant and important that was and how you did build a supply chain in a way that it was robust enough for you even to be able to do this now?
Yeah, sure. So I think the most important was to finding the right partner that shares my values of quality. So we sourcing everything from Germany, from one source that is really giving us the best quality, doesn't go down in quality because of price reasons, and working with one of the biggest manufacturers over there that is FDA approved and has no limit to production. And as Germans, they're very much into the detail and supply chain and quality.
Yeah.
And that is giving us a huge advantage that there's never been any gaps or time changes or delays. It's just really working. And they're continuously working with us on other products to just make them as high quality as all the other ones.
And it may have felt at the time that this was not a brave move, but actually it was. Everybody else goes to China. The reason that no goods are coming from anywhere right now is because everybody's making their goods over in China and nobody understands the supply chain. They feel like they do, right? They met some random warehouse dude over in some random city over in China and they're like, oh yeah, you seem like a good guy, sure. And then they met some broker who said, I'll make sure I take care of everything. And then they met some shipping guy and then they spend the next 10, 15 years destroying the planet, transferring goods all over the world from places they don't understand to other places that they'll never visit. And you decided right at the beginning to pay a higher price, take a lower margin yourself, make sure you still gave great service and a great price to the consumers, but created in the place where you knew that you could have total control, not just over the supply chain, but also about the quality and making sure that it came out the other side the way you wanted consumers to see it.
Yeah, I think we added one more factor into that. We actually also have a quality control lab in Germany that is taking the produced stuff into another testing, reviewing it before it actually leaves the country. So we're very keen on keeping the quality and securing the health of our pets. to not be in any way in danger. So we're really testing once the production is done, we send it to a lab before it even leaves the country to make sure this is the quality, this is all free of any contamination. So it's really, and they keep the quality and the checkup of our product really on top of anything.
Right. Yeah. Well done on that. Tell me about some of the tough moments that you faced when you were building this, because so far it sounds like you're superhuman and you built it and you put it in place and you stand there and you put on your Superwoman outfit at the end of the day and you're like, yeah. But it's a bit tougher than that, right?
No. Yes. Well, I mean, migrating from the lab and research into running your own business, even if I've done some other ones before, but still it's different. And also as a female founder, I think there are a lot of challenges around that. But I think the most important people have to understand, like, it's not an idea and then you have the product on the shelf 6 weeks later. So it's really a long journey with a lot of challenges, and it's a learning process. I mean, the idea and formulating that was once, but then scaling it into producing something and putting it in packaging, creating a brand, creating the visibility and what does your brand stand for, all these things. And on top of that, in Germany, I went to EU licensing of this product, which was really a challenge. It took over 6 months for them to review, and they really tough on just like letting something through that is a supplement, which is generally not regulated. But we wanted to make sure that we have every certificate there could be. So we did that. And yeah, I mean, the challenges, there are many, and it was a fun journey if I look back now, but I think there were moments where I just thought, why are you doing this? Like all the stuff that got thrown in your way. But then if you have that passion and bigger goal of just helping dogs, you just get one message of a customer saying, my God, thank you. My dog can run again because you brought this product out. That lets you forget all of this challenges and hassles that you have.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You mentioned the specific female founder challenges. Hit us with a few of those.
Well, I mean,
you're like, there's a list.
There are a lot. But there's also a positive side. As I think we just talked about that in the cohort, that it's actually the best time to be a woman and a female founder, because the changes are happening now. Like 5 years ago, I don't think anyone would even listen to this, and there would nobody be like involved in this. Now there's so many help, like females that help you. There's so many clubs, there's so many VCs that only invest in female founders. So I think we're being seen much more, which is great, but it is still a long way to be equal, in my opinion. More in a way, like you still get sometimes treated different in meetings. My journey started as a scientist, being like 1 out of 5 women in the whole study, in the whole group, which was difficult because there's still this, why would you do that? You know, you're a woman. So it wasn't like it was an engineer study, so there aren't many women in that field. Now I hope there are more, but it's just started with always being different. But I mean, there are pros and cons on that.
Do you think as well that it also helps you, like the pro maybe, is that it helps you weed out the idiots from the people that you really want to be your partners in the future? Like, I don't want to turn this into like, oh, us men have a really tough time because it's really hard for us to weed out the idiots from the people we want to work with. But there are certain obvious things that you see and it's like, okay, awesome. I'm so glad you were here because now I know I'm never, ever going to work with you. And then there are other people that like it's like, I always remember when my partner first met you, and it was after we'd invested with you, and you went up to give him some of the dog nutrients for his wife because they work so well to rebuild the cartilage, right? And he's like, what should I do? I'm like, use them. These are perfect for dogs. They're going to be perfect for your wife. Stick them in a blender, make a milkshake, and give her the damn cartilage so she feels better for herself. But within literally a minute of you leaving, he picked up the phone to me and he's like, she's brilliant. Do you know the science behind what she does, how much she cares about dogs, how great her supply chain is? Like for him, I don't even think he noticed whether you were a man or a woman. He just saw you as the greatest dollar sign on the planet because you were building something with a level of expertise, a level of seriousness, a level of quality, and a market which is as big as the ocean.
Yeah, but he's also a great guy that doesn't judge anyone by that, I think. So I have to say there are many people that along the way that if I would have known, I wouldn't have worked with them. But there are also on the other side, tons of mentors that I have to say thank you to that helped me a lot. And if that was because I was a woman or not, I don't think they didn't care. They just saw the vision and wanted to help.
So let's talk about a few of those. So bringing it from, the folks who kind of pushed you down a little bit and it was difficult at the start, in which every startup's journey, the road behind us is riddled with those people. But let's also look at the folks who really helped. Can you think of people in particular, really bright moments of specific people that helped shine a light and bring you to your aha moment of, oh my God, this is what I'm going to do and this is why?
Yeah, there was some in the early times in Europe that probably taught me a lot about the business side, which helped me immense, just to look at the bigger picture and what I wanted to build, and not only think small of dogs, my dogs. Like I had this smaller vision probably before I realized that I want to help all dogs on the planet, but how can we build a brand that is actually pet wellness? And that people will look into and know that the quality and all that is there. And then I have to say the LA scene of entrepreneurs and the startup scene is really great. Like I have never experienced that much help and community anywhere else. To come here 3 years ago as a foreigner and know nobody. It didn't take longer than six months to be in this community, and everyone was trying to help. So there were a lot of these big events that being made for startups, but you meet people that are just there to help, and they, which was new to me, didn't expect anything, just for you to succeed. They wanted to help to see you succeed, and that was something I did not experience particularly in Germany. There's always a ask for it. Here, this was amazing.
Yeah, and we're like a cult, really, aren't we? But a really good cult, like the kind of cult you want to go to on a Saturday night, and you come back and you go, that was awesome cult, like the best. Yeah, because it's very true. And not a lot of people speak about that. I want to get to the vision in a second because I think you have an incredible vision and I want people to see how that extends out. But you brought up a really, really good point about the business aspect of building something great. A lot of the time, and even if I step back a little bit, I believe that we all fit into one main type of personality. We are either phenomenal operational / logistics people, whether we're scientists or whether we're just great at making sure that stuff gets done, or whether we're great operational people, or we are phenomenal creative people, or we are phenomenal business development people, right? Now, just because we are strong on one, it doesn't mean that we don't have a little bit of the other. But it's very, very, very seldom that you'll find someone who's got all three in equal measures. I've actually never met anyone. So normally we're strong in one area. And what that means is we got to do one of two things. We either have to bring in co-founders that are strong in the other areas. So I'm really, really strong business development. That's my thing. I wake up in the morning and all I'm thinking about is how do we expand, grow, scale, get bigger, tell more people, find more customers, more, right? You, from the little time that I've known you, but as much as I love you, you are the greatest logistical, operational, every single thing that needs to be done will be done with phenomenal detail in it, which is over in that section there as well, right? Now, both of us are creative, but our creativity, I'm not sure, is as strong as the business development side for me and the operational side for you. So, and that goes across the gambit for all startups. So you have one of two choices, and this is my tip for the day built into the podcast. You either get yourself a co-founder, get yourself somebody who's amazing at the other side of it. So I know in the future at Expert Dojo, I will need a co-founder. I will need someone who is phenomenal at doing the operational side of it, or we will crash and burn into a pile of ashes, right? Or you learn the stuff yourself. Now you chose as a solo female founder to learn everything yourself and make sure that you actually had it in place. I mean, how difficult was that?
Yeah, I mean, I think every startup founder is wearing many hats to tap into many things, but then the day isn't long enough to cover it all. And there's a point when you want to do a lot of things and you cannot because time and just power of or your own energy. But that's the time when I got a COO. Even if I like operations, it has to be someone that is organizing all my ideas and new product lines and expansions, and also the business development side. I always love to do partnerships. This is one of my passions as well. And I think it takes a team and mentors and other people that sometimes show you what you're good at, because sometimes you don't realize it yourself. Like I feel like sometimes they just hold a mirror in front of you and say, look, this is where you're really good at. You should emphasize that and let other people do the stuff that you're maybe not as good in.
Yeah, I love that.
And that is something that I feel like a team that if you have a team that is honest and can do that and can show you what you're good at and complement you with the stuff that you might not be as good and take that away from you so you can really concentrate on what you want to do. I think that's really the key to have success in business. And the same as we now got really fortunate to have a great CMO on board who also showed me again that I love to do certain things and I'm good at that. But then the other part of all the technical stuff on marketing and driving sales and all that it's interesting for me, but it's not the passion I want to do. So it's kind of like, I think that is the key as well, as you're saying, a co-founder or just building your team around you that will help you and support you and actually complement the best in you.
And you put it very eloquently there. So it's a little, as you're saying that, I'm seeing a picture in my head of a road, and it's a pavement road that, it starts the moment that you conceptualize your idea, and then it goes all the way until you either have a business which is making many, many millions of dollars a year, or a business that you've been acquired, or possibly an IPO, a public offering you've gone through, but just some form of liquidity event for yourself. And at the beginning, that road has got some cracks in it and it's got some small potholes. And weaker CEOs or weaker founders will say, it's okay because, the potholes are tiny. You can drive over them really easy and the cracks are hardly even noticeable. And really strong founders will say, actually, if we don't do these potholes now, they'll get bigger. And as we become larger, we're going to have less time and less resources to be able to fill these holes. We think we're going to have more, but we're not, because we're just going to have way too many more things to do. So the things that we need to fill in those gaps, those cracks, those potholes, sometimes it's a board, sometimes it's advisors, sometimes it's consultants, sometimes it's 1099, sometimes it's interns, sometimes it's co-founders, but they have to be filled in. That's the key to all of this, right? We cannot have a road with any cracks on it. And those roads that are totally clean of anything are the ones that we're going to be able to fly through without having to continually look back and fix stuff that was broken in the first place. You like that?
Yeah, I like that. I wanted to add that I think too that I mean, in the beginning of the journey, I really fell down very deep and had to defend the brand to keep it because of major mistakes. But I think through that learning, it makes you realize the success and actually gives you more power to drive through this. Because if it would all be great and nothing would have happened, I think you wouldn't be as determined and persistent to go through this, because once you nearly lost everything and you make a huge mistake, you learn from that. And that's so important on the journey to be able to learn. And another thing, like to accept help and not say, no, I know best. I think that's the biggest way of failing, is to not to accept the help and actually listen to people
Yeah.
and take the advice and use it.
Yeah, and you're bringing up so many points. Like, number one, our ego is our biggest enemy. We suddenly get our t-shirts. I'm actually in the fridge in Expert Dojo now, my Expert Dojo t-shirt on, so I shouldn't say this, but we get our t-shirts and we get our cards where we're CEO of our company, and suddenly we feel we know everything, and then people challenge us and we take it with a real defensive way, and our ego kicks in and we're in all kinds of trouble. So I think that's self-explanatory to people. Like, don't let that happen. Take advice wherever you can take it. Have humility on the entire journey. And don't make it about you being right. Make it about your company moving forward. And actually come into the office or come into your workplace every single day with the objective of coming home smarter, and having learned more and implemented more. You did mention one other word. I was going to go straight to vision, but I want to hold it off for a second because you mentioned brand. And I'm a brand freak and you're a brand freak. What did you learn about brand? And hit us with the most important aspects, like from the beginning to now, and as you've developed the brand, and how do you see that developing going forward?
I think, first of all, you probably have to have a natural intuition about what you or what you think other people would like and why it has an impact. In my case, the name is super easy because my dog was happy again. That's why the first product is named Happy Again. That was simple, but I didn't realize in the beginning what impact that name and logo will have through the whole journey of the brand. I probably just accidentally made a good mistake of just taking that name without even asking any specialist or running through these brand exercises, which I did all of that later on. It happened that this was the right name and it's fitting to the brand and it's great. But I think what was hard for me in the beginning, because it was so personalized to me, like this whole brand is my dog. He is the logo. It was the reason I created it, that I didn't want to take any advice. In the beginning, I had to really learn to think of that people are not meaning to be bad to me and criticizing me. They're just trying to help me to get better and create a brand that will survive this and be there and really that people look at this brand and say, wow, this is great. I can identify myself with this. But I think that was a big learning challenge for me. And I think every founder that is very close to their own brand and the story around it is that you have to just forget about you and think about this perspective, because other people might see you different than you think they see you. And all these exercises and help from people made me really open to suggestions and changes. And we changed many things along the way. But in the beginning, I was very critical to anyone saying something about it because I thought I knew it. And I think that is really, really keen on, you will not have a brand and a packaging in the beginning and that's it. You will change so many times. And it's okay. In the beginning, it's okay. You have to figure it out. And there's going to be many versions. And in the end, you will feel really comfortable when it's the point of, yes, this is it. Like if someone asks me now, I know what my brand stands for and what I want it to be. A couple of years ago, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
so I think
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because it takes you, what you're saying is really look at it from the customer's perspective. It's what is the journey, the user journey that's being gone through, and how is your brand interacting on that level? And then on the very, very, very highest level, it's how does it make your customer feel? That's really what brand is when we get down to it, is when your customer has finished interacting with you or with your brand, how does it make them feel? And to your point, it's a constant evolution because your products are constantly evolving. And because of that, your brand will not become what it's going to become for probably another 3 to 4 years yet. The only thing that you can do in the meantime is listen intently to your customers. Which actually brings me to the final portion, the final segment, which is the most important segment. And actually, it's the piece that made me like I met you the very first time. Within the first 15 minutes of meeting you, I absolutely 100% knew that we were going to invest in you, and nothing. And we had maybe I think 2-3 meetings after that, and most of it was me trying to convince you to take money from me, which is my favorite types of meetings. But and the reason I loved you so much was because I got your vision straight away. Immediately I saw it. And it starts off almost with the Trojan horse, where you provide this phenomenal product to people for dogs that really need it, that makes them healthier. But then it opens up this entire world of a new brand that you're going to build. Can you share with us as much as you can share about what the vision of your project, of what your products look like and your brand looks like, and just work on the basis that you're speaking to potential investors for the future going forward, consumers, partners, everybody. They're all listening.
Well, it might sound too big of a vision when I start where I got the first time an eye opener to what I wanted to build. It was not just a collagen product for dogs. I wanted to build a wellness brand that will help pets to extend their lives. Now, if you look back, I think my eye opener was attending the Cannes Lions, which is the biggest advertising festival. And there was an investor and advisor, and he talked to me and he said, so you actually building the new Unilever for pets products. Awesome. Like it's all about wellness for you, but you have different categories and products, which you will partner with, let's say, influencers, celebrities, which I think is a big chance, especially in the pet industry, to show your products or your brands with someone that shares the same value as you do, and their fans or followers are sharing your values. So you want to reach and want to really find that person that will help you leverage this audience and introduce your brand. It doesn't always have to be a celebrity, but that's just the way that it happens for us to find Cesar Millan. And that vision started for me very early as well. I was a big fan of him. I trained my dog.
My mom watches them. My mom watches them. Everybody loves the dog. Maybe everybody doesn't love the dog whisperer, but my family, everybody loves the dog whisperer.
Yeah, I was always a big fan. And when I moved over here, what I said is like, I'm going to meet him. And everyone was like, yeah, right. Good luck with that. I did. And it did happen that he liked the product, and he was the perfect fit because he shares the value of moving your dog and exercising, but you cannot do that if they're not mobile. So in that case, it's really the perfect fit. Now, next product line might be different. So we're also working there to partner with someone that will fit perfectly into that product category. And that way we do different categories of products, but it all stands under the same umbrella of pet wellness and through nutrition, making their lives longer, better, healthier, just preventing all these things that can happen to your pet, because you want them to live forever. Everyone wants that.
Of course.
And if we can give them the ability to just enhance that and make it better, not like the last 2 years, many old dogs they suffer a lot. They have pain. They might everything. I mean, it's like old people. We all want to live longer and not necessarily longer and then suffer, but just a better quality of life in that time.
Amazing. And then some of those products, how do you see them looking, or is that a big secret for now?
Well, we are launching. We just launched our puppy and young dog version on the supplement side. Beautiful, and launching chew sticks that are like just healthy treats with the benefit of our supplement in it. The next product will be elixirs. There are vitamin elixirs with different natural flavors to just enhance the nutrition of your dog, your food, and our supplement with more varieties. Also challenging all the points of digestion, skin and coat, and the immune system. So it's all just an add-on, but then we also go into the dog food space.
Yeah, amazing. So listen, you're going to take over the world. I love it. Do you need any investment? I know you're doing great right now, but I believe probably if we could get some good strategic investors in, you'd be open to having conversations with them.
Yeah, sure. What we want the investment for is basically to scale on the marketing side We have a great return on investment on ad spend, but we just need the cash to really push that side and also finance upfront inventory, which along the way wouldn't be a problem because we're already talking to a lot of inventory financing companies. And as we see sales, it's getting easier and easier. But marketing help is, that's one of our biggest reasons why we're raising some money now.
Wonderful. Listen, as a dog owner and my lovely, beautiful little Chula, even though I look ridiculous with a teacup Yorkie, I love her all the same. I thank you for everything that you're doing for dogs. I thank you for being part of our accelerator. I love having you as a part of it. If you're an investor out there, don't be a schmuck. Do what we did. Contact Anja and make sure you're getting in this investment round because we believe this company is going to be absolutely massive. How can folks contact you?
Through my email, Anja, Anja, @happyagainpet.com.
Okay, and then the website is happyagainpet.com, right?
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
Beautiful. Thanks for joining, and I'll
you.
be seeing you real soon, and everybody else, if you're smart, they'll all be following you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us. If you love the podcast, please empower your circle by sharing these stories. The Art of Startup War is brought to you by Expert Dojo, and remember, we invest in startups, $50,000 checks. Make sure you apply on our site if you are one of those great entrepreneurs looking to bring your company to the next level. As far as the Art of Startup War is concerned, we are back every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. So remember, check out the new episodes. If you want to find out what the investors think, check out season 1 or 2, but make sure you join us every single week.